Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Argos, Zenith, and Keep the Rules here on the Xelnaga Caverns. We have Keep the Rules, that's what the Korean translation means. Keep the Rules spawning as the blue Terran as the north side. Meanwhile, on the south side, we have Argos spawning over here as the red Zerg player. So Terran versus Zerg here on the Xelnaga Caverns. This shoutcast is sponsored by lucomputers.com. Go ahead and check out their website. For StarCraft 2 tested computers, there is a link on the top right hand corner. Now this is the first time I've ever casted a game on Xelnaga Caverns, so there's a lot of interesting features here on this map. First, you have this small choke point. I'm going back into a natural expansion over here that is fairly far from your opponent's base. It is decently close, except you will not be able to use siege tanks as a Terran player to try to guard your expansion that easily, since you have a choke point here, and then you also have this choke point here. Another thing that's important to note is there are destructible rocks leading to another expansion on the low ground. However, this expansion is very precariously situated on this back road, what I'll call over here. What this back road allows you to do is it allows you to send in any Hellions across the back behind this brush, and then also try to take down units here. You can also put siege tanks here, or more importantly, put siege tanks here to try to stop your opponent from being able to do any mining. And there is also this high ground expansion over here with a lot of brush here. So there is a lot of interesting features on this map. There is also this wide chasm in the center of the map, so no units are able to cross through the center there. 2 Xelnaga watchtowers and these high yield mineral locations over here. 6 mineral patches there. We do have a drone now walking around on the inside now, trying to see what exactly the strategy of Keep the Rules is going to be. Back over here, we already have the extractor up and running, and now what seemed to be about a 15 spawning pool after that extractor, so a very early gas into a spawning pool play. We'll see what exactly is going to come of this, and yeah, do not want that to pop up. Ah, goodness. Yeah, my computer's auto running some applications. I had a crash in the middle of my first shoutcast, so I had to reload everything, and that's what happens. Back over here, you see Keep the Rules now keeping this SCV, most likely going to try to keep it patrolling here, denying any sort of fast hatchery. Yeah, now Argos Zenith gonna Daisy the drone gonna meet Stevie the SCV, and they are not gonna be able to put down anything here. Hatchery, oh, denied by Keep the Rules as that drone fighting against that SCV there. Oh, supply depot, supply depot was almost placed down by Keep the Rules, so Keep the Rules doing a good job, and there goes that supply depot, and very nicely done, taking down that SCV as that drone now spitting with, oh no, not spitting anymore, it's claws. So the attack animation is those claws from that drone trying to take down that supply depot. We have an extractor trick coming over here, an extractor denial. As this extractor is coming up, Marine and an SCV trying to take it down. Most likely Argos Zenith is going to cancel it and then rebuild it, and there you go. And it's very, very frustrating for a Terran player to try to get the second gas up and running. Terran players really need that early gas, otherwise they're going to confine the Hellions and Marines. And now because he has so many extra minerals, going to throw down a command center instead. Is he going to get another extractor denial? No, just going to leave that up. So that extractor now is up. That Marine will be able to shoot it down. Will take quite some time. 1 armor on that building, so the Marine only dealing 5 damage per shot. Back over here, we have the hatchery now being laid down, halfway growing up into a full hatchery. Argos also leaving 1 overlord here. Perhaps to do some sort of nidus, but very nicely done. Keep the Rules keeping with this SCV over here on this bottom right hand corner. We'll see this early overlord, and now we also see an early Reaper coming out. Reaper may be able to take down that Zergling there. Oh, jumping up, and then down goes that Zergling. So that early Reaper already with 2 kills may be able to deal some significant damage, but there are 2 queens in play. 1 queen now walking over here, gonna go ahead and try to spawn larva as this Reaper gonna hop off into this high ledge over here and probably try to face down this queen. I do not see the nitro packs being researched, so that Reaper will not be able to move that quickly. When Reaper, now a little bit out of position, was trying to hop over that edge, and down it goes. Nicely done by Argos, denying that ledge. If that Reaper just jumped down that ledge, would have been able to survive, but no, unable to jump down that ledge in time. Now Zerglings with that metabolic boost, moving with a 4.7 speed, will be able to get across the map very easily, and now using 2 Zerglings to control these center Xelnaga watchtowers, and essentially going to have the Terran player sit in his base for a long time. However, wow, we're going into a mass barracks strategy against a Zerg player. So I've not seen mass infantry against Zerg in quite some time. It's mainly been mech. So how will Argos Zenith respond to this? And I'm looking at, we have an Overseer now being trained, and we're also getting the additional movement speed for those Overlords. So those Overlords will not be able to be hunted down and nearly as easily. And also Argos Zenith really with essential map control all across this map. You can see there's very few dark spaces. This is a very, very small map. Overseer now coming in, perhaps we'll be able to get down a contaminate, and a contaminate onto a barracks with the reactor is probably one of the hardest thing. Really was shut down. Production of 2 units. So will we get enough energy in time? Does not look like it. Marines are gonna hop out of there in just a second. No contaminate for that Overseer. Is he gonna drop a changeling though? No, just continuing to get sight out. No, yeah, there's that contaminate on those barracks. So those Marines gonna take 55 units of time to be built, as now we have a missile turret being laid down. And we do have one factory in play, contaminate on that barracks, and now we have another Overlord moving in. So it's going to be very interesting as this mass Marauder Marine army now establishing this expansion over here. Roaches should not be produced in this particular instance just because Roaches take so much damage from those Marauders. Hydra is definitely the better choice, but there are also a large number of Zerglings. Will these Zerglings be able to deal enough damage? And it looks as though the Zerglings may be able to try to use this back door over here and then run in and take down these SCVs over here. As we have Keep the Rules a little bit more concerned about the front door over here, not building a supply depot on the other side of this brush. Over here, we also have some Zerglings. So Argos Zenith going to go ahead and going to move in and try to do a 2-pronged attack and then get some damage dealt to these SCVs for that harvester count. We have 31 harvesters compared to 37. Argos Zenith just power droned from 34 up to 38 drones and producing more and more units. We are getting the level 1 armor upgrades and the level 1 upgrades over here. So in come those Zerglings. The Zerglings now going to do a surround. Very nicely done. Those Zerglings now surrounding these units here, catching a lot of these Marauders off guard. And will Argos Zenith have enough Zerglings to finish off this army? SCV is now coming off the line. Down goes that bunker. And this whole entire expansion made really take some suffering, a lot of damage there. But no, the SCV is coming off the line, able to finish and mop up the rest of that army there. You see Argos Zenith down to a 50 mineral army, now training up more units. But did take a little bit of an economic kick, now down to 700 and 800, so losing some of those SCVs in that fight and also losing some precious harvesting time. Back over here, Argos Zenith really saturating these mineral lines, sitting at 53 harvesters. So that is very heavy saturation, especially for a Zerg player who normally tries to expand very early in order, as they only want 2 drones per patch. Once you get to 3, you might as well take an additional hatchery somewhere else on the map. Overlord was spawning creep over here, now moving away. Overseer perhaps going to try to do a contaminate or try to get a changeling in the base. No, Overseer just moving around. Marines now starting to shoot over here. Anything really going to happen? Not quite sure. Overseer may be able to get to the backside. No. Missile turret in position, so there are more missile turrets and supply depots here. In comes that changeling, and changeling just gonna get a little bit of sight. SCVs are not attacking that, and we just have this changeling just walking around on the inside of that base, getting a free sight into the base and going, hey, you know, walking around, enjoying the view. Let me see what my friends are doing over here, and now gonna move in over here. So if that Marine joins this army over here and stops, oh, very nicely done. So Argos Zenith made it look like this Marine was trained up. So Keep the Rules did not catch this early enough. So this one changeling is just going to stick there for quite some time. Very funny. Back over here, we have some infestors being laid down. We are not getting the neuroparasite as there are no Thors yet. So a lot of fungal growth. We should also see some banelings perhaps. But no, we are going to go into roaches. Roaches with burrow. So roaches with burrow now being produced. And you can see 10 roaches already in play, and as those roaches are able to move while burrowed, that's going to be a very interesting strategy. More Zerglings now being trained up, as Argos sitting at a 2,000 mineral army compared to Keep the Rules 1,900. Harvester-wise, both sides even, as Argos Zenith has 52 harvesters compared to Keep the Rules is 45, but those 2 orbital commands able to even out the mining rate on both sides. Perhaps some SCVs need to be transferred over from here. This is a little bit more saturated than this natural expansion over here. So yeah, he will lose some of that, and now Overlord's moving out, but there is nothing in those Overlords. Overlord's just there for sight, and this is a very small map. And now that we have a take a look at this, the Zerg player has a lot of advantages, and really I would like to see the Terran player try to go for some sensor towers. Sensor towers are very, very strong. In come these overlords, and overlords, just a massive amount of overlords, perhaps trying to pull some of that army away. And now, wow, not really doing anything there. I do not see that changeling. Perhaps the changeling timer went off, or was able to keep track of this. And now Overseer pulling away again, another contaminate on this siege tank being trained over here at this factory. So this is a 4 racks with 1 starport. Medevacs most likely need to be trained up really soon, sitting on a large amount of gas, and now getting a second engineering base. So going to go for 3 units. Supply depots also being lowered. And one of the benefits of being able to raise and lower supply for a Terran player is that you can really build these supply depots, and they don't take up as much room, as you can still move units in and out of positions. Over here we have a Nidus Canal being built, and that Nidus Canal is right next to this supply depot here, and out comes this Nidus Worm, and units are just funneling out over here. Are we going to get another nice fungal growth coming in? And not spawning any infested Terrans. Banelings now moving in, and now just splashing, dealing so much damage towards those units. More Banelings moving in. Are we gonna get a fungal growth? Yeah, fungal growth on all those units, and this is just a crazy amount of damage. Nidus Canal now spawning infested Terrans all inside the space, and now pulling back. So these roaches and infested Terrans dealing significant damage here, but now these infested Terrans are not moving out, not supporting their friends, and now shooting over here. There is a timer on this attack over here, so not quite sure what's happening. This barracks may get taken down as well. As this barracks is taken down, and going to hurt the production of KeepTheRules. So KeepTheRules now in significant pain as more roaches and infestors moving out. These roaches do have burrow, but they are not burrowing because there are missile turrets able to keep sight of them. Roaches now within that 0 range of that siege tank. Siege tanks now on that low ground, shooting back up to that high ground, so pulling away roaches, now taking down more of the production buildings. And Argos doing a great job expanding at the same time to this low ground expansion over here. So really a great job as these roaches continuing to scamper and just infest this base, causing a lot of damage. The tech lab now going to get taken down as well. Are those roaches? No, more units coming out of this Nidus network. So more roaches continuing to just push and push and push. Army-wise, both sides taking significant damage. Roaches now surrounding over here. Marauders coming out to deal, to try to handle this whole entire roach infestation, but unable to. Roaches can easily burrow, regenerate all of their hit points very easily, and come back in. There is no detectors in the base now that turret is gone, but instead going to go ahead and jump on inside that Nidus Worm. Nidus Worm now taken down. But that damage has been done. Taking a look at the losses, KeepTheRules losing 88 or 9,000 in unit losses, as now roaches infesting and spawning over here. So another Nidus Worm coming in, and now splitting KeepTheRules between his expansion and his main base, and now lifting up this orbital command center in order to try to run away from those roaches. Roaches should just burrow and try to just get away from this whole entire engagement. Now going to go ahead and jump into that Nidus network. Very, very nice use of the shrubbery, being able to hide that Nidus Worm over there. He does not see that there's a Nidus network in this position. So once again, very, very nicely done. Overseer now pulling back, and orbital command, you can see that the harvester count of KeepTheRules is very low, as he's now running off of 3 mineral patches only. The harvester count 42 harvesters in this location, just way too many. Oversaturation, as now we have Argos Zenith taking this natural expansion. Hasn't transferred any drones over here yet, so that's a little bit of a surprise, as there are now roaches sitting over here now taking this high yield mineral expansion as well. Has not taken down these destructible rocks yet, so drones taking a very, very long walk around the corner in order to start mining from here. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Argos Zenith and KeepTheRules here in the Xelnaga Caverns.